Hey Stampers, Diane Dimich here with ddstamps.com, and today I'm here to show you this technique with the Thoughtful Bundle set or Thoughtful Branches set from Stampin' Up. This is a stamp set that's available during the month of August 2016 or while supplies last, so if you're interested you better get it soon. This may or may not show up down the road, but it's a great little set. It comes as a bundle, or you can get them separately, stamp sets and thinlits. And let me quickly show you how I did this card. So to begin with, I'm going to come in with some cardstock. This is a piece of Whisper White. It's 8.5 by 5.5, scored in half, makes my card base. A piece of Wild Wasabi, which is 4 by 5.25. And then another piece of Whisper White, which is just 1/16 of an inch around the edges, smaller than the Wild Wasabi. I will put those measurements up on my website, so you don't really have to think about that. To do that, and then I have also a scrap piece that I'm going to use to do the tree, the leaves on the tree. And so I'm coming in with that clear stamp on a block. I'm going to begin with the So Saffron. I'm using So Saffron, Wild Wasabi, and Cajun Craze. This is a very fall looking card. We've had very fall weather here in the last 24 hours. Cold and rain. In fact, over on top of the mountain, I'm sure that it is white and snowy because it was that cold last night. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp those leaves with the Cajun Craze, or the So Saffron. Then I'm going to come in with a little Wild Wasabi. I'm going to clean this beforehand because I really don't want to get that into my ink. So I'm going to wipe that off, come in with a little Wild Wasabi, and this time, because you can see through this in their photopolymer, I'm going to stamp these down, but I'm going to stamp them just slightly off center from what I stamped the yellow. So if my head gets in the way, I'm sorry. But you'll be able to see it when you're looking down at your stamps, and then you just want to go like off a little bit. So you get a really blurred, it starts to blur up your thing. But just wait till it's done because it's kind of cool. Kind of a cool technique. And then I'm coming in with Cajun Craze. And I'm going to ink up this. This might be a little dark, but oh, what the heck. Do the same thing with this one. I'm coming in, lining up my stamps. Oops. I couldn't line them up. That's why it was upside down. So I'm lining up my stamps, and this time I'm coming in just going a little bit off center again. And stamp them down. It starts to look like a fall tree. Now I'm going to show you how I lined this up to cut them. I'll bring in my Big Shot. And when I do this, my arrow was on the top for my stamping, and so this needs to be at the top. And one of the things you can do is you'll probably be able to see, hopefully be able to see this in there. Yeah, I think you can. All these little open edges around the edge line up to one of the stamped images. I'm going to try to line it up to the yellow because I want my yellow and my green to show the most. It's easier to line it up, as you can see, with the Cajun Craze because it's darker. Once I've got that where I want it. It's so funny. There we go. I'm going to run that through twice. And I'm going to pull that out of there. Come in with my die brush and just run that over the top of that. That will get a lot of the little tiny pieces loose and get this loose from the pull out my pieces. You can see that Cajun got really dark. It wasn't as dark in my sample, but that's all right. It's still going to work. It's just a tree that's gone through more of a change. So I'm coming in with my 8.5 by 11 or 8.5 by 5.5 cardstock. My Wild Wasabi. my other piece of Whisper White. Then I'm going to come in with that Wild Wasabi and a stamp that looks like grass, and I'll ink that up. Stamp that down here. And then I'm coming in with some more of that Cajun Craze. Stamp that there. And then I cut out with the thinlits, I cut out the tree with the branches using early espresso. And I'm going to go ahead and use this fine tip glue. Love this stuff. Because it just puts a little bit where you need it. One of the things you need to remember when you're using this glue, though, is make sure that you get that wire back down in the hole there when you put the lid on, and that'll make sure that it doesn't clog up on you. Put this down here. It really is a quick card. And then I'm going to come in with some of my dimensionals. Again, I'm using those dimensionals that we got for pop-up cards. They're long, thin strips. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut a few, pull those off. Flip this over. And just kind of add these randomly around where there's spots for them. You don't need a ton, just need enough to make sure that it has a little dimension to it and that it sticks. And then you're going to take off the pieces of paper. This is a double-sided tape. And then once you've got them all done, you're just going to go ahead and lay that right on top of your tree. And you've got a great fall card with lots of yellows and greens. If I were going to do it over, I probably would put more green in than the Cajun Craze. Cajun Craze was just a tad dark, but I kind of like it. It's just something different, gives it a great look for fall. So there you can see. I think this one I must have stamped off the Cajun Craze because it's not nearly as dark as that one. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. If you haven't already done so, you may want to sign up for my newsletter at www.ddistamps.com. Thanks, and I hope you have a great day.